So I'm sharing a video on Thursday night instead of Friday late because I want to give myself time, as the Fridays are getting a little earlier every week before the Sabbath, before Shabbos comes in. So today I'm going to be talking about presence, the inventory of recovery, like recovering the treasure of our presence. So may we all have, including me, the courage today to live the life we would love, and to postpone our dream no longer, but to do at last what we came here to do, and waste no more our heart on fear, and remembering that what people think of us is none of our business, and feedback is up to us to use it or not. We don't have to take it to heart, and that we don't have to worry so much about just the body death. I mean, we could have mental death, spiritual or heart death, and God shows us each one his or her power through us, where we got to come from, where we got to and where we're coming from. And we can also take time to, when we recover ourselves, to digest the chunks of ourselves that we couldn't swallow, and that many character defects are devoted to trying to show an appearance of competence and assurance because it's so terrifying to let it out, but the secrets actually kill us. And responding internally to what we did, of course you did, with kindness, right? And knowing that humbling doesn't mean humiliation. When we disempower to need to prove anything, like when we disempower ourselves, it's the need to prove something. Actually, grief happens when a releasing of codependency that was started as a response to the grief. So when we became codependent to avoid grief, and then we stop being codependent, the grief can happen. But who to give our inventory over to is, like, who to share these kind of what we find in ourselves, like when we're doing our own inventory, is a loving witness with patience. It could be someone who needs to understand what we're doing and not very fragile or traumatized, someone who can hold space. You might think of them as a spiritual master, or if they're in the 12 steps, that you could say they're past the 5 steps, the first 5 steps. Could be a therapist, and it has to be something sacred to share. We have to take time after to reflect, and we don't need to give in to temptation to downplay our issues to sound better off than we are. Remembering our actions speak louder than our intentions, and we can be happy even if no one around us is happy, and because we can't afford resentments. We can know our own portion and limits. We can have integrity, not only telling our deep, dark stuff to strangers, but to the people that we actually need to get it off our chest to. We don't have to squander any more time and handle this and try to manage the unmetabolized grief, because our brokenheartedness is a composite experience by the fact that it's more than one piece, it's broken. And presence is about how it's safe to be me, safe for others to be them. There's no need for pettiness, micromanaging, controlling, defying, revenge, or judging. The feminine and masculine get to be in an energy balance, and grief and mourning and bereavement, even anger and resentment, all of it brings us to gratitude and relief. We're able to be a role model, and we're able to move from contraction to expansion and feel whole as I am, not seeing a lack. Rather, there's room for a deeper reconciliation and coming to the limits of giving and mothering with benefit of the doubt, which is to judge on the side of merit. And everyone's allowed to feel sad, bothered, angry, frustrated, and people will. Rather, we don't have to reject others' unclaimed emotions or their projections. It's us coming in contact with, we can actually reject it without actually, in other words, our foundations and values can lead us to unconscious interpretations such that we can choose love, not fear, and enjoyment, not escape, acceptance, not regret, hope, not despair, so that when these things happen, we simply say, oh, that's despair. We don't have to reject them just because they're sharing their despair or their escape or their fear or their regret. We can let growth pains be triggering for healing, and that the momentary passions of the soul can be followed, which is really what we call our calling. And attuning the refinement beyond our limited consciousness is to fall in line with a perfect destiny. So it's not just like forcing it into refinement, but like falling in line with our perfect destiny in a easy way, knowing no one person is perfect for us, but rather there's a tapping into that frequency of how it's coming for me. It's helping, it's nurturing me. It's exactly what will end up actually freeing me, 'em, 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 ' whether there's an attachment to the parent, the child, the friend, or the partner. We can melt ourselves of ourselves and see that this concentrated light can burn away the impurities. And I want to share about how we are the treasure. This is from Marcy Heller, that hardships can be fast-tracked through moments of thankfulness. She quotes Matt Kahn. And hardship is how the nervous system responds to adversity. Adversity is how we perceive and relate to change or loss. Change and loss are some of the deepest ways in which life evolves us out of our ego and into alignment with our soul. And it occurs for us through moments of renewal and erosion that come and go, like weather patterns. Experiencing the nature of change and loss from our soul's sense of excitement instead of the ego's perception of judgment, we're able to let go of with authenticity and ease. Only the soul can let go. The ego maintains a struggle, judgment, and negation. It's never really ready to let go, even though with enough time, a heart-centered consciousness can allow the ego to release control as a result out of aligning with gratitude because it feels so good. But the egoic battle cry out of respect for its purpose in our evolution is I wasn't ready to let go. And this is like how we sort of anchor the light of who we are, who I am really, who we are amming is changing the world. We are each star seeds, miracle workers connected to and an extension of divine love, herself, himself, all of us. So instead of, I need to be loved, I need to feel lovable, it's I am love. And she references a quote. She says, this is what the Archangel Michael is telling us. So Michael in Hebrew is related to chesed, kindness. And beloved, shine your light for all to see. Call on us and we will assist you in every way. You are loved. And this is what love tells us, for us to be love in the world. I wish you a good Shabbos if you observe. Wish you a good weekend. May everything be approved. May you experience your pairing, your adornment, your exaltedness, refinement, your elevation, your decoration and adornment, and your feeling the sense of spouse, whatever that means for you, and husband or wife, and whatever that means in terms of a partner, and health, wishing you health. Be well.